No, Mommy, I was just waiting on somebody to get here. But you see the title I gave to this live stream because it's something that should be talked about. Yep. Whether you want to ignore what I'm telling you, whether you want to look into it for yourself, will be totally up to you. Though the day's going to come that you're going to find out here in America what it's like to live in a third world nation. You sure are. That's going to come with ignoring and turning your back and calling people nuts and what the behavior that so many people want to represent. Because they represent that behavior, ignorance is bliss. And ignorance won't discriminate. It sure won't. It'll affect you all equally. And you should love your new life. That's right, of enslavement. Oh, yes, you should love it. How many of you people have traveled overseas? How many of you have been in a place like the Philippines where it's run and controlled by military? Yeah. You don't see police officers and police cars or sheriff's cars or highway patrol. No, 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 no. It's military, all armed and ready to go. Sure as enough, that's what's ruling you. And transportation, well, you leave your house, you start walking, and sooner or later, as you're walking, a motorcycle with a little puny body built onto it, and the rider of the motorcycle will stop and pick you up. And you can hold four people tightly in the back and one up front on this little motorcycle. And he will take you to where you're going locally. Yep. You can say, why am I talking about that? Well, because that's what's coming to America. That's what's coming to United Kingdom. That's what's coming to Germany and France and Russia. That's what's coming. As they do away with your ability to go out and get in your car and drive away. As they do away with the automobile. As they lock you down so traveling isn't keeps you locked in one area. You're going to say, no, there's millions and millions and millions and millions and billions of cars and trucks and so on and so on. No, all they got to do is stop shipping your gas to your gas stations. Sooner or later, you'll all be out of gas. See, there was a reason they took out the person who invented the device to switch your motor over to water that pulled the hydrogen from the water and ran your motor just as good as gasoline. There was a reason they went around the country after doing away with this person and held seminars and charged people money and lied to them in them seminars and told them that no, 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 you still had to have a tank with gas in it because the water wasn't as sufficient. Lied their butts off. There was a reason for that. Because they couldn't control. They couldn't do what the long-term agenda is with that invention. Because then you would never be out of that fuel. Though they could still mess you over and take oil away from you, and you wouldn't be able to lube your oil with a motor with oil. So, but the point is while you're all turning your back and while you're all enjoying your technology, we got the smartphones now. We have AI. We have sex bots coming out and robots and Then we're going to have, Silicon Valley, the home of Google and YouTube and Amazon and your corporate monsters that are taking over the world. And David Icke was correct when David Icke said what he said when it comes to G5. But yeah, one of the agendas is to lock people down and take their ability to transport themselves away from them by making the auto industry go away. Uber's here for a reason. You got all these Uber drivers complaining about low wages and benefits, and the company itself is actually making no profit. And how are they continuing to run this company with making no profit? Well, because it's being financed by thin air. Yeah, by your globalist. They just type some figures into a computer and say, here you go, to keep it going. It's sort of like when Walmart went around the country running all these little entities out of business. It's the same thing. It's a takeover. Uber's job is to continue to be financed by these globalists with dirt cheap pay to all these drivers who are minions that will eventually run all taxi services out of business and bus lines out of business. That is the idea. So that your public bus line transportation and your taxi cabs will no longer be. And once they successfully get that through Uber, which they will, because how can you compete? Uber don't have to make a profit to survive, because the people who own the monetary system, who just invent money out their anal as they punch keys, will just punch keys on a computer and print some more of that toilet paper we call money up and finance Uber to continue to run with making no profit. This means taxi cabs and bus line systems and transportation systems will not be able to compete because they have to have a profit to survive. So they will be gone. History, adios. This is what you're looking at happening right in your face. So while all of you guys are worried about the dating scene and you men are fraudulently going your own way when you're not, and all of you so-called truthers are up here bitching about the NWO, here they are just continuing to carry on their agenda. And what are we doing? We're doing the same as we've always been doing. Not a damn thing at all about it, are we? No, and you won't. You'll sit back and let Uber take over, and you'll let them continue to finance Uber, who won't have to make a profit to survive because we're just pulling the toilet paper out of our anal that you call money, the tool, because the people who own the monetary system or controlling the monetary system are the ones financing Uber to stay alive with no profit for that reason. So whether you want to believe me or not, I really don't care. I just don't give a flying F what you think about me, how you feel about me. You can turn your back to the message all you want. But the day's going to come that the corporate entity will run all taxi cabs, all bus lines, including Greyhound, right on out of business. And there will be all of these people unemployed. one more time. Their new job will be to run around your little city with a little motorcycle with a little dinky body built onto it, okay? And charge you money to take you to this store, that store, to your job. Because you won't be able to drive, that'll be banned. Automobiles will become banned. No longer allowed. You'll say, but I own 2 vehicles already. And they'll say, so run it if you want, but how are you going to run it? There's no gas at your gas stations. This is how simple that works. They just shut down the truck line industry, and your oil manufacturers, at your processing places, your refineries. And now once they shut down your refineries, because they don't have no further use for gasoline, or they control the gasoline, the elite do, that only these entities will have smart vehicles that'll be running themselves. That's right. We'll have trucks going down the highway without a driver. It'll have AI. It'll be controlled by computers. You'll have a few, military entities, military industrial complex, patsies, order followers, suckers, that'll be sitting there pulling the keys and doing what they got to do behind the scene, but your roads will be filled full of truckers hauling food to stores minus the trucker. It'll just be an AI truck. The gas will be observed for that, or until they go all electric. There you go. But it won't be sold to the public no more. It'll be for corporations and commercial products only, which means gas stations will close down and there's more people out of work. But we don't care about if you're out of work, because we can give everybody one figure payment per month from the criminals at the top to survive on. Oh, that'll be just about enough money to keep you in a cardboard box and barely keep you fed. That's right. Because there won't be no work to be gotten. Oh, I know, I'm nuts again. I'm not worried about being nuts. Because when it's all said and done, you idiots that turned your back, you will be the ones looking nuts. Because you turned your back to the truth and called the person who told you the truth a nut job. You didn't have time to look into it for yourself. And because you don't got time to look into anything for yourself, you don't need enemies, because you're your own enemy. That's the way that works out. And why would you need enemies? You're your own enemy. So will we have a world where people can't travel no more? Oh, yeah. You'll have to get special permission and pay money to get special permission to be granted to travel. And that means you'll have to be in compliance. That's right. You'll have to be totally in compliance. Because it'll be the only way that you'll be able to travel is by staying in compliance. So, the only way, you're going to stop Uber from running all these places out of business is to not call Uber. That's right, to not give them business. So that these drivers had to go and find another form of means and start calling your taxi. Fuck Uber. Call your taxi. But you know how it is. Everybody's proud about the tool. If Uber can give you a cheaper ride, that's who you're calling, right? You're not going to be willing to call Yellow Cab or Shamrock or whatever your local taxi service is because, well, but they'll charge me more money and I can get it cheaper over here at Uber. That's right. You can run everybody else out of business because Uber is being financed by the elite. That's why they don't have to make a profit to survive. And there is no other transportation industry that can survive without a profit. So, yeah, the answer is to not use Uber. Do not use Uber. Do we have to say that how many times before people get that through their head? Pay the extra money to the cab company. Take the city bus and pay the money. Do not use Uber. I know we're going to put some Uber drivers out of business, but these Uber drivers are being used as patsies, pawns to an agenda that's going to run all of your taxis out of business. All of your local city buses out of business. Greyhound out of business. Then they're going to introduce their smart grid and their technology to go ahead and have semi trucks and this and that don't need drivers no more. No, they don't need drivers no more. Now these vehicles can go down the road without a physical human being running them. And you're going to say they don't got that technology? Oh, they have that technology and have had it for a long time. And they have perfected it to an art. But once again, the majority of you people won't go look into this. And because you won't go look into it, you'll be oblivious to it. Or you will ignore it because this just, when you ignore it, it just magically goes away. No, it does not magically go away because you ignored it. Now you became complicit, allowing it to happen. That's what you do when you ignore. You allow something evil to happen. So now you're on board with evil. Everything is upside down in this world. Everybody wants to be lied to. Nobody wants to tell the truth. But then nobody wants to be lied to. But when they're told the truth, they don't want the truth. Because their brain's been mentally hijacked by this corrupt system. Censorship is off the roof. And all that is about shutting you up. That's right. That's what that's about. Shutting you up. Keeping you from telling people what's going on. And the other way we keep people from telling what's going on is we start labeling them. That's right. We call them nuts. We call them tinfoil wearing hats. We call them losers. We call them geeks. We call them nerds. We've made up all kinds of labels for each other, haven't we? Yeah. And so, while we're busy making up labels for each other and attacking one another, your real enemy just keeps moving forward with their plans. And meanwhile, you just keep turning your back. It's beyond me how you just think turning your back is going to make it go away. when all you're doing is being complicit and going along with. There is no turning your back that makes anything go away. They're not going to stop doing what they're doing because you're not going to stop them. You're going to do exactly what they told you you'd do. You are going to be that perfect serf, that perfect simp, that perfect weak link, the perfect coward, the perfect slave, the order follower. And can you get mad enough to stop them? I don't know if you got it in you to get mad enough to stop them. You'll probably get mad and cry, right? Or you'll get angry and just bitch and blame some other victim, right? Because you're scared of the guy wearing a uniform. You're scared of that public figure who calls himself a congressman or a senator. Yeah. And because you're scared of them, or maybe you're scared about not fitting in. Yeah. Maybe you're scared somebody might call you a nut. Maybe they'll ostracize you and you won't have friends. Yeah. Is this the other thing that you're scared of? And this is why you won't do anything? Because, like a child, you're an adult scared of peer pressure? That's really what it is. So, we have many reasons why you're not going to do anything, don't we? And all of these reasons make you cowards, make you complicit, and allows your real enemy to move forward. So if your real enemy was out to come to your house tonight and you have 4 children, and your real enemy intends on coming into your house tonight and raping your children, I suppose you're going to be like the Jehovah's Witness. You're going to see the uniform, you're going to see the government figure, and you're going to bow down and say, okay, my child body belongs to you. Do what you want with them. You're not going to become angry and try to stop them. You're not going to attack them. I would. But would you? See, I'm only throwing examples in your face, is all I'm doing, of our mentality. Because the real truth is, Silicon Valley up there in California, the home of evil, the home of our technology, the home of our censorship, the home of order followers who follow their orders for the tool, who are destroying their own country for the tool. And then you got the military industrial complex, who are also order followers, okay, who also are destroying their own country after they took an oath saying that they were going to defend their country, foreign and domestic. Well, here, let me tell you how well they're defending us. We're going to have all open borders and do away with countries. Oh, but don't worry, you won't be crossing your borders, because we're also going to do away with transportation, except for the wild transportation we allow to you, which will be controlled, which you will have to be approved and paid to travel. Don't worry, you won't be just openly jumping in your vehicle no more, running down to Walmart, running down to the next town to a game, are going on vacation and driving 4 or 5 states over. No, them days will be gone. There will be no such thing. Go on a vacation, go out in your front yard. There will be no such thing. Because you perfect slaves will be just exactly that. Exactly what you wanted. After all, you're the ones that want to turn your back, ain't that right? Isn't that the majority of our society? You don't want to care about anything but the dating scene for the manosphere. And for the people over there on the fraudulent truther side, they don't want to care anything about their ego, their pretend fame. That's right. And they don't want to care about the manosphere. Like the manosphere, they don't want to care about the truthers. And the men don't want to care about the women, and the women don't want to care about the men. That's right. And the whites are becoming less and less while the blacks are ruling, but we don't care about races neither because we all too busy noticing somebody's skin color. We all too busy looking for somebody else's mistake. Even if we've made a mistake ourselves, we'll acknowledge our mistake by turning our back to it and thinking, well, I'm smarter than him, I'm above him. And then we'll focus on our tool. Well, I have more of the tool than you do. I'm more successful than you. That must mean I'm smarter than you, so I'm above you, so I'm going to look down on you. And that's the same thing we see over in the truth community from people who are Kraft macaroni and cheese broke. Okay? But they got an ego, and their ego's flying high. And because of their ego, they look down on you. They know they're smarter than you. This is our mentality. And while we're all over here having our fluff and stuff between our egos and our mentalities and our ignorance and our dumbness, we have Uber drivers complaining about not making enough money, while these Uber patsies like Timothy McVeigh and the Oklahoma buildings bombings, that guy, he was a patsy. He did not bomb them buildings. Well, that's what your Uber drivers in America are. They're patsies. They're pawns in an agenda. And that agenda is to run cab services and bus lines out of business. Because that agenda says we will finance that agenda so they don't got to make a profit. That agenda will allow this to continue to go. You can use your own personal car, not make enough money to fix your car, so they don't have to worry about cost of repair on a vehicle that broke down, right? And you can leave your house and give somebody else a ride for a few tokens, a few cents. That's right. That once again will barely keep you alive. Or, yes, you could deliver a pizza. And you could deliver a pizza, okay? Until we start seeing cab companies going out of business. We start seeing local city buses going out of business. Because the Uber don't have to make a profit to survive. But the city bus line does. But the taxi companies do. Because, see, their vehicles break down. They not only got to pay their drivers, but they got to repair their vehicles. They got to replace tires. But if you're a Uber driver, They don't gotta repair the vehicle because you own your own car. They don't care. They'll just hire somebody who's got a car they can wear out. They won't pay you enough money to replace your car, to buy new tires for your car. See, they don't care when your car wears out. They just say up yours and throw you aside like we do our military. We send them overseas, we blow their limbs off, and we send them back home and we ignore them. Then we attack them because they might have a gun. They could be dangerous because we trained them. See, this is what we're going to do to our Uber drivers. We're going to let them wear out their vehicles, barely make any money while they're doing it, not be able to afford to fix their vehicle. Now we're done using you. We will throw you away and just grab our next sucker. Okay? And he'll come along or she'll come along and say, well, I can use a little extra money. And they'll jump in their vehicle and they'll wear out their vehicle. Do you see how easy that is? Meanwhile, the taxi companies and the bus lines lose revenue till they fold and go under. Once enough of them are gone, then they will outlaw them. They'll ban them. They won't be allowed no more. And then behind that, they'll ban your vehicles. Oh, they sure will. You won't be allowed to drive your personal car to work no more. Matter of fact, they'll probably say they're going to give you so much money for your vehicle, and that'll be that. And they'll be coming around handing you a cheap wage to haul your vehicles away. Because you won't need them no more because they're not sending gas to the gas stations. Now they got you. Oh, but you're going to say they won't do that? Watch them. That's why I asked at the beginning of this live stream, how many of you been to a country like the Philippines, where they have little tricycles, which are little dinky motorcycles with a little mini body built on it. You can fit 4 people in the back of this little motorcycle with body and one person next to the motorcycle rider who just steers the motorcycle with handlebars and sits in a seat. See, yeah, they're going to be everywhere, man. They're going to do just like in the Philippines. They're going to put these little motorcycles everywhere. We're going green. Remember, Obama said he wanted you to go green. Well, by golly, now you're officially going green. You won't be able to just travel. You'll have to have permission. And pretty soon, we won't need cops no more, sheriffs or local PD, highway patrol. No, 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 no. There'll be no need for them no more neither. Because we have military to do that. So they'll be out of a job too. So you won't have to worry about your thugs. Oh, I'm sure a percentage of your thugs wearing badges will be given the opportunity to put on a military uniform and follow the orders. And because they're already great order followers, they'll just go right along with the program. They sure will. So now do you see where we're going here? A lot of people won't think about this. They won't even have the critical thinking skill to look around them and pay attention. It's like with your jobs when they went out the door, and they still are. I was told that I was nuts. And then when the jobs went out the door and the tent city showed up in California, and Arnold Schwarzenegger was was up there as the governor, And then he decided we need to do away with Tent City, like he decided that. And we attacked the very people we took the jobs away from. So we outsourced your jobs, put you out of work, and the people who still have jobs attacked the ones that lost their jobs like a bunch of little children. It's actually pretty pathetic, if you ask me. It really is. It's pretty damn pathetic. But what am I to do? What am I going to say about that? There ain't nothing I could do or say. I'm only telling you what I see coming. And it's coming faster than you think. So, people can get mad all they want. You could turn your back. You could call me names. I really just don't care. I don't. I've been trying to help people for years. From the dating arena across the board to what's going on behind your back to what's going on in our world, because the dating scene problems were socially engineered by the very same entity that is causing all these problems in our society. And to get that through people's heads is like running your fist through a concrete wall or a steel wall without breaking your bones, which ain't gonna happen. So I don't know. How do you get people to actually open their eyes and look? How do you get people to use their brains instead of their anals to think with? I don't understand why it's so hard to get people to use their brains and not their anal. Most people, I think, prefer to use their anal to think with and wonder why they keep getting shitty results. Ours, like I told you earlier, is because of our ability to be scared, isn't it? Because you're either scared you're not going to fit in, or you're scared of the uniform. That's right, or the position. Well, but that's a government official. Well, that's an FBI agent. But that's a cop. Okay. Or, but I won't have friends, man. People make fun of me. They'll call me names, and I'm scared of that. I don't want to be ostracized. I need my friends. Yeah. And unfortunately, these are your enemies right here because they're weak. They're cowards. You got a tough skin to do what I do, I'm telling you. Because I don't care. You can hate me, and I just don't care. Why don't I care? Because I care about everybody. I'm loaded with care when it comes to everybody, but I also recognize right from wrong. And I also want evil stopped. I want these people that have caused all of our problems brought to a stop. And we can't do that if we don't get our heads out of our what. We can't do that if we're scared of all the things I just listed. And it does not take bloodshed or wars to stop them. The easiest way to stop them is in massive numbers. Is called non-compliance. Simply not following their orders. It doesn't matter how loud they scream it, but it has to happen in mass numbers. Because otherwise they're going to send their thugs or their followers to take these few people and lock them in a cage and kidnap them and lock them in a cage. But if these order followers and these military men and the people themselves in enough numbers would just simply stop following the orders, there's not a damn thing they could do. Their system would collapse and it would fall right on its face. And not one person would have to be shot or killed to do it. No lie. The question mark is, how do we get people to see this? How do we get them to understand this? How crucially important this is. How? You know, I don't know what else to tell you, but I wanted to get up here a few minutes. And I wanted to scream a little bit about the Uber situation. Matter of fact, David Icke posted a new video you might want to check out. And he's correct. He talks about Uber. He talks about vehicles that ain't going to have man running them. Okay. And you know, the thing is this is no lie. This is like in your face. It's so obviously in your face. And why people ain't seeing this is because you're not paying attention. What company do you know? Come on, tell me one business, one company, a bus line, a taxi service, a hardware store. That's right. A roofing company, a contractor who builds homes. What company do you know of that does not need a profit to be in business? Just name one. What company do you know of that does not need a profit to stay in business? And I'll bet you won't be able to name even one. But Uber, they don't need a profit to stay in business because they're being financed by the powers to be. That's right. So they have a nonstop flow of money for doing nothing but taking Becky and Johnny and Billy and Sue and Margaret and Kelly and Joe and on the names go off the street who have a driver's license and their own vehicle and saying, become an Uber driver. And giving them dirt cheap Kraft macaroni and cheese low income. Okay? And not fixing their vehicles. The perfect scam. And they don't have to make a profit. They just keep financing it. And they let us, the people who need employment, destroy our own selves as we run taxi companies and city bus lines out of business for them. That's what's really going on. So, the answer is simple. Do not use Uber. Let these Uber drivers find other jobs. But will we be able to get that off the ground? Will we be able to get all these different Uber drivers' attention to what's really going on? Will they just fuck you and walk away and go find another job? This is what they need to do. We need to cut them off, man. Totally cut them off right at the pass and make it so they can't get it done. That is what we need to do. So take and hold on to that. And I'm going to get on out of here. And I'll be back another time with a different topic. I got some videos I'm going to be posting up. You'll see in the next couple of days. But don't worry, I'll be back. Keep your eyes open. And do what you can do to get out there and get to these Uber drivers. And wake their asses up and get them to stop driving for Uber. Because it's the only way we're going to stop this. Otherwise, we will be the ones that are running all these places out of business for the very people that put us in this situation to begin with. With that, I'm out of here.